You know, I'm sure you'll agree in this woke world that we live in. I think a lot of these companies decide to do things, don't they, to get attention. I mean, after all, if they didn't come up with this dramatic twist and turn, would we know about it? Would anybody care? You know, you see this, don't you, with these theatre productions where they've decided now not to have the lead role as a man, but as a woman, or indeed, you know, not even get a particular gender. It's just daft, isn't it? Over here recently in Panto, we were told that it was terribly, terribly un PC to have the likes of Cinderella, Snow White, Aladdin, Jack in the Beanstalk, all outdated fairy stories that nobody truly believed in. For anybody who doesn't know sort of Panto, particularly in America, it's more like fun vaudeville, you know, very successful for about 6 weeks over here towards the end of the year where it fills theatres. But it's interesting now, though, because this is infiltrated into some of our very best and much loved children's books. We're not talking Edie Blyton this time, or indeed Roald Dahl. Another one. Oh, yes, as ever, let me explain. Hi, good morning, Neil Sean here. Nice to see you. By the way, I'm on a mission. Oh, yes, thought I'd share this with you. Now, as you know, we like Jammy Dodgers on this show. Absolutely. But now, I don't know about you, I recently picked up a pack of wagon wheels. Do you know wagon wheels? Now, wagon wheels when I was a kid were like wagon wheels now. They're more like a bolt. There's nothing in them. I mean, and you know, they say, this is what makes you laugh. They say, oh, you know, filling for who? I mean, it's just ridiculous. Bought one as a snack, and I've noticed this. Let me know if you've also noticed. They've taken the jam out. It says epic taste. It is. It's missing the jam. There's no jam. I'd love to know for the makers of Cadbury. Oh, I'd love to know, should I say, from the makers of wagon wheels, where's the jam gone? Is that another cost-cutting exercise? Have you noticed that with your favourite snacks? Wagon wheels, they couldn't support anything now, let alone a wagon. Do you know what I'm saying? Back as ever to your story of the day. This really all centres upon the fact that when I was at school, you know, there was a collection of books that everybody saw, particularly in your school library, the Ladybird learning books, right? They had this, you know, everything. It sort of taught you about, you know, the builder, the dentist, you know, they covered every spectrum of it, you know. Now, according to them, get this, stories like Snow White and Cinderella do not resonate in the form that they were written with the public today. So they want to rewrite them to make them more acceptable. Now, I don't know about you. I don't know if they're going to make Snow White some kind of drag queen and perhaps the seven dwarfs backing dancers or something like that. You do kind of wonder what they plan to do. Cinderella apparently wouldn't dash off with the prince anymore, or wouldn't be seen waiting around for him. No, you know, it's a bit like an Amazon driver. Could be days. But the bottom line is, of course, that you have to think about it and say, well, what's wrong with the stories that the way they're done? Now, as I've said at the beginning of that particular now, as I've said at the beginning of this particular video, you do kind of wonder, you know, for me, Ladybird books were a big thing growing up, particularly at school, but I'd forgotten all about them. So going woke, is this a way of reigniting people's memories, reigniting the fact that, of course, you know, people remember them, and will they relook at them again? Can they resell books? Are we now being fed these anti-stories to make sure that we look at them in a brand new light? I'd love to know if you've spotted this yourself with certain things. Maybe it's a theatre production, a TV show, a storyline in a soap. Do you think now they're all excusing this as a way of, well, look, you know, we're going to do this, it'll offend you, then you'll get reminded that, of course, we still exist. As for Ladybird, I don't think this will make a dent at all, simply because people enjoyed the original books. More importantly, why change the habits of a children's reading lifetimes? I'd love to know what you think to this particular story, as ever, in the comments below.